Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beats. I'm here to present you my NBA morning shoot around for Tuesday, October 29th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't come and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for our DFS needs. So make sure you come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So we've got a small little 3-game slate today. Should be a pretty fun one. Going to have a couple good games on the slate. There's a lot of money to be made out there, man. To be honest with you, usually on a 3-game slate, I don't really recommend playing cash games. 2 to 3 game slates are usually more GPP slates. So I do want to throw that out there. But definitely we're going to be playing. We're trying to win some money today. So let's jump into this slate and break down these games. Real quick before we do, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button down below. Helps me out. I really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, man, let's go. So we'll start with Atlanta and Miami first. I think this should be a pretty fun game. You got Trae Young just playing absolutely out of his mind right now. Through the first 3 games of the season, he's averaging 34 real-life points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists for 52 fantasy points. I don't really want to pay, $9,400 for Trae Young. It's a tough price tag, but the guy's just playing absolutely out of his mind. And on a small slate, I definitely think that you got to consider him. Goran Dragic on the other side, I think Goran Dragic is the guy that you can look at. I mean, he is coming off the bench. That's one thing that I don't like. I think he's a really good point guard. He should actually be in that starting lineup. But, it is what it is. 6,500. We need about 32 for value. He's got you at least 23 in every game. We know that Dragic does have some upside if he is going to play the minutes. One thing I do want to throw out there, I don't know how much it's really going to affect Dragic, but Jimmy Butler will be back today. So that's just something I do want to throw out there. This guy, Kendrick Nunn, I mean, he's been playing out of his mind. This is the reason that, Dragic has really come off the bench. This guy's coming in, and he's just been absolutely killing it. In the two of the 3 games he played less than 30 minutes, and he still got you 36 fantasy points. 6,000, I like him. I'm just a little scared with him and Dragic kind of splitting the time. Who I kind of want to go with. I want to see these guys minutes with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. Then we talked about it. We got Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler at 9,000 coming in today, playing his first game of the season with his new team. I want to see it before I kind of want to pay up at 9,000 for Butler, 9,400 for Trae Young. I personally definitely rather go with Trae Young just because he's already been killing it to start the season. Jimmy Butler with a new team, a new situation. I don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, I expect him to do pretty good, but at a 9,000, it's not a give me price tag. Definitely in play though for GBPs. Then we got, you got Tyler Hero. I think Tyler Hero is a guy that we can look at 5,200. He's been playing a bunch of minutes. I don't know if his minutes will get affected by Jimmy Butler. I could possibly see that happening. This whole Miami team, it's a tough situation because I got to see what happens with Butler, especially with all their wing positions. But I think that you can look at Hero in GPPs. You can look at Butler in GPPs. Justice Winslow, he's a guy that's been playing a bunch of minutes. He's the one that's actually starting at the point guard spot, and he's playing a ton of minutes. 7,500, the price tag is up there. Just for value, you need about 37. Definitely see him. He can get that, especially against Atlanta, a team that's just going to run back and forth, not play much defense. You can look at a guy like Justice Winslow. DeAndre Hunter, I don't know how much I'm really liking him. I think that Benbury is a guy that stands out for me a little bit more. He's coming off the bench, so it kind of sucks, but he's going to play 20 to 25 minutes. He gives you a little bit of upside, strictly a GPP play. I'm just looking for a little bit of value. That's even why I kind of bring Benbury up. At the power forward spot, John Collins, 8,000. I think that he's a really, really good play. On the flip side, I think that Bam is a good play as well. I like both of these guys. You can definitely consider both of these guys. Jabari Parker, he's a guy that we know he can definitely light it up fantasy-wise. It's just all about minutes, and right now he's not getting the minutes, so I'm not really too into Jabari Parker. At the center spot, 5,000 for Alex Lynn. I think that's a pretty good price tag for him. He's been up and down. He's been hurt a little bit. He hasn't had a really, really good game, but I've played Lynn in the past. I know we've all played Lynn in the past couple of years with the Suns, even last year with the Hawks. And he's a guy that does give you a little bit of upside, and I can see him having a decent game here. Kelly Olynyk, he's listed as probable today. With probable with the quadricep injury. Last game, he only played 13 minutes. He got hurt the 2 games before. He played mid 20s, 4,400. I think is a pretty good price tag for him. He's somebody that you can look at. Then we'll go to Dallas and Denver. We'll start at the point guard spot. Luka's definitely in play. 10.4, triple double upside any night. He's going to play the minutes, especially in a close game. I like the upside that he's given us. Price tag is climbing up a little bit, but I think that he's definitely still in play. Jamal Murray, strictly GPP, just because he's so up and down. But at a 7,600 price tag, it's not a give me price tag neither. But the guy does have some upside. I do want to mention that. So I think that he's in play on a small slate. Shooting guard, you can look at DeLon Wright, 5,600. He's a guy that, his minutes have kind of been all over the place, but he did have the super upside game against New Orleans. It was a blowout. Do want to mention that. But, if he's going to be in the lineup, if he's going to be playing at 5,600, I think that you can look at him on this small slate. Gary Harris, 4,900. I think that I like Gary Harris a little bit more than DeLon Wright just because of the minutes are there. But I think DeLon Wright does have a little bit more upside. 4,900, I think that he's a really good mid-tier play. I'm talking about Gary Harris. Torrey Craig, Malik Beasley. If you could take a roll on these guys on a small slate, hoping that one of them gets some extra run. It kind of is that low-owned guy that helps you kind of get over the hump for tournaments. I'm not too interested, but they got to be in play. Will Barton, in that starting spot, he's played 30 minutes in 2 of the 3 games. It's all about minutes with Barton. If he's going to play me right around 30 minutes, even if they just give me exactly 30 minutes for Barton at a 5,000 price tag, you can really, really look at him. I'll like him. I think that he's a guy that you could consider in play today. Power forward spot, Porzingis. He started the season not too bad, man. Coming off the best game of the season. We scored 32 real-life points, 56 fantasy points. The minutes are trending up. That's what I like about him. He's going to play you, 33 to 35 minutes. I think that Porzingis is in a solid spot. But I do want to say that Denver is a pretty good defense. They do have pretty good defense with Paul Millsap and Jokic. But I just think that 9,000 is a fair price. He's going to give you, he's going to give you a little bit of everything. So I think that Porzingis is a guy that we can look at. Paul Millsap on the flip side of things, 5,800. He just hasn't been getting the minutes. They got a lot of guys in Denver, and that's what's really, really kind of going on with this team. The only guy that's getting guaranteed minutes is Jokic, and that's the best player. But 5,800 for Millsap. If he's going to get some minutes, then he'll be in play. Kleber, he's in that starting center spot right now, playing 25 to 28 minutes, basically a game. I think that he's a guy you can look at 4,900 if you're trying to get away on the little bit lower end with the guy that's going to give you some run. Jeremiah Grant, he's a guy that I like him. He's just not getting the minutes. Him and Paul Millsap are splitting a lot of the minutes, and they're kind of taking away from each other's fantasy value. Jokic definitely in play, 10.7. I don't know who Dallas has that can stop the Joker. I honestly don't. I really feel that he can have a really good game today, especially if he's going to be matched up against Kleber. I don't see them really putting Porzingis on Jokic, but we'll see how that goes. Final game of the night, you got Memphis at LA. Jay Morant is questionable with the ankle injury. He is listed as he's probable with the ankle injury. I expect him to play. Coming off the best game of the season for him. This could be an up-tempo game going against the Lakers, and I think that Jay Morant at 7,800 is a solid play. Rajon Rondo questionable with the calf injury. He hasn't played this season yet. I don't know if tonight's going to be the night. If he does play and he's going to get that starting role at 4,500, he is in play. I just got to see the minutes. If something happens and Morant doesn't end up playing, I think that you can look at Tyus Jones at 4,100. But as I mentioned, Morant is expected to play today. Danny Green, a guy starting the season off pretty hot. Outside of last game against Charlotte, he had a couple really solid games. 5,500, I think, is a pretty good price tag for him. I'm not really looking at these other guys on the cheaper end. Avery Bradley possibly as a GPP play. He's playing about 25 minutes a game. He just hasn't really had a good game yet. Small forward, LeBron James, 11.3. I think that you could definitely look at him as a guy to pay up for on this slate. If this game stays close, he can have a really good game. I like him. It's going to either be, I think in the late game, you got to get one of the big names. I think you got to get LeBron or you got to get AD just to have that late kicker. It's tough to win without a late kicker for sure. Josh Jackson, he's a guy that he got assigned to the G League. I don't know why. I think this guy is expected. He's a guy that's really good, and I think that he should be in the league. I think he's a guy that they're going to call up. Otherwise, he shouldn't have left the Suns. To be honest with you, I know he's not in play today. He's just a guy. I'm a big fan of him, and I don't know why he's in the G League, especially on a Memphis team they're a rebuilding team, but he's a really good young piece. Anthony Davis, definitely in play, 12.3. Who is going to stop this guy? There's nobody, in my opinion, on Memphis that can really stop Anthony Davis. The guy's just too big. He's giving you a really solid floor, at least 50 fantasy points in 3 straight games. Jaren Jackson on the flip side, the young guy, his minutes are kind of all over the place. He does have some upside. 7,400 though. It's a tough price tag to play in kind of a hard matchup for him. You got a guy, Brandon Clark. This young guy has been playing very, very well. He's getting right around 25 minutes. He does a little bit of everything, fills up the stat sheet. 5,500, I think, is a fair price tag for him as a GPP play. Center, you got Valanciunas. Definitely, I think that Valanciunas is a guy that he's gonna be a really good piece for this Memphis team. He just showed you last game in 19 minutes against Brooklyn. He scored you 44 fantasy points. I just wish he was getting a little bit more minutes, man. I want to see 25 minutes a game, 30 minutes a game, close to that at a 6,200 price tag. But I think that you could consider him in GPPs. Then you got Dwight Howard, you got JaVale McGee. Not really too interested in these guys. Dwight Howard's a guy kind of taking over the more minutes than JaVale McGee. And I think that, at the end of the day, sometime in the future, Dwight Howard's going to end up taking that starting role for the Lakers. That's just kind of feeling that I have. But that's really where I'm at, man. It's just a small 3-game slate. I think the biggest thing is you got to decide who you want to pay up for, and we got to find some value because there's some really big-time studs on this slate for sure. So, hey, man, if you want a more in-depth analysis on today's slate, you want to see some other content that we have for NBA, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. And, hey, good luck on your guys' contest, all right? Peace out.